I hope you are as excited as I am. It's time to write. We've written some shorter pieces this year, and now we're going to write a full paper. And this is step one of our theme based literary analysis paper. You guys have generated themes already, and we're going to use that work to continue today. Today, we're going to write a thesis. And a thesis is perhaps a new word for you. If it is not a new word for you, congratulations for remembering it. For those of you that it is new, a thesis is a one sentence summary of what you want to say in your paper. So someone who reads this sentence would know exactly what your paper is going to be about. So you're going to watch me do a little bit with Stray, and then you're going to go do it with the short story, Everything Will Be Okay. So we're asking you to do a minimum of 3. You will see that I came up with 3 here. I decided that the first one didn't work, so I put a line through it. Then I narrowed it down to number 2 and number 3, and I decided that number 3 isn't really the reason, the motivation of why he did it, and so I settled on number 2. And with number 2, I played around with words, and even these words are going to change. I still don't love it, and I'm going to trust the process. So I decide people make sacrifices to avoid torment. And then I create my working thesis where I restate the name of the story and I restate the literary word that I'm using. And I come up with one theme in Stray is that people will make sacrifices to avoid torment. The next step is to go into the literature and find 3 pieces of evidence. Honors, you're going to need to find 4 to 5 pieces of evidence. And here's what I did with Stray. So first I showed my thinking. I thought about the story and I wanted to find a place where I knew they were going to have to make a sacrifice, and I thought about the family literally cannot spare leftovers of their own food. I went into the story and I found grudgingly let Doris feed it table scraps, and I put the page number. Notice I did not copy the entire quote. Secondly, I thought about another scene where her father's job does not pay well, wrote down my idea, then I went into the story and I found the piece of text that showed that. And I copied it down. Her father made so little money, any pets were out of the question. Page 2. Then I thought about when the change came, and the father changes his mind, and I went and looked for the evidence, and I found it the worst looking place I'd ever seen on page 4. So now I have 3 pieces of evidence to support this thesis I created up here. You are going to do that now. You've already done a little bit of the theme work, the thesis work with Everything Will Be Okay, but now you're going to get a little more serious about it and you're going to plug it in. We do want you to start in your journal. Please do this by hand. You can make it look like these things up here, but you don't need to draw the box, but notice how we indent to show what we're doing. So here I labeled it minimum of 3 possible themes. You can label it 3 possible themes. Whoops, that's going to make a mess. And then you can bullet point those to the side, and when you indent, that shows that all of these things belong to that, and then it shows that all 3 of these belong to your working thesis. So please do that in your journal, and when you finish, show it to an adult. Notice I did not read these word for word to you. Please read this before you start and let us know how we can help.